Hello guys, today our topic of discussion is the sciatic nerve. The sciatic nerve is the thickest nerve in the body and it has two parts, a tibial part and a common peroneal part. The tibial part is formed from the ventral division of anterior primary rami of L4, L5, S1, S2 and S3, whereas the common peroneal part is formed from the dorsal divisions of anterior primary rami of L4, L5, S1 and S2. So now that we know the nerve root of sciatic nerve, that is L4, L5, S1, S2 and S3, we can also study the nerve roots of four other nerves using this idea. For that, we have to add two more rows of nerve roots. We know that L4, L5, S1, S2, S3, they are the nerve roots of sciatic nerve. Under that you have to write the L5, S1, S2, S3, leave S4. And again you have to add one more row. Now you have to leave L5, so that you will write S1, S2, S3 and S4. Now the result is we get the nerve roots of four other nerves. L4, L5, S1, these are the nerve roots of superior gluteal nerve, whereas L5, S1, S2 for inferior gluteal nerve, and S1, S2, S3 for posterior cutaneous nerve, and finally S2, S3 and S4 for pudendal nerve. That's how the anatomy becomes easy. If you know something and if you integrate something with it, you can easily study the hardest concepts in anatomy. Coming back to our topic, now we have to discuss the extent and course of the sciatic nerve. As we know, it begins in pelvis. It enters the gluteal region through the greater sciatic foramen below piriformis. See, this is the greater sciatic foramen. This muscle is the piriformis. So the nerve enters below the piriformis through the greater sciatic foramen. Now you can see the diagram more clearly. So as I said before, it enters the gluteal region through the greater sciatic foramen below the piriformis, and then it passes between the greater trochanter and the ischial tuberosity. It passes between the greater trochanter and the ischial tuberosity. And then it enters the back of thigh at the lower border of the gluteus maximus. Here you are able to see that it eventually comes out the lower border of gluteus maximus. So there it enters the back of thigh. After reaching the back of thigh, it again descends vertically downwards, and at the superior angle of the popliteal fossa, that is the junction of upper 2/3 and lower 1/3 of the back of thigh, upper 2/3 and the lower 1/3 of the back of thigh, it divides into two terminal branches, that is the tibial nerve and the common peroneal nerve. So at the superior angle of the popliteal fossa, that is at the junction of upper 2/3 and lower 1/3 of the back of thigh, it divides into the tibial nerve and the common peroneal nerve, which are the terminal branches of the two terminal branches of the sciatic nerve. Now we are able to see the sensory innervation of the sciatic nerve. As we can see, the sural nerve, the deep fibular nerve, the superficial fibular nerve and the medial calcaneal branches. So these are the sensory innervation of the sciatic nerve, and you can see the areas supplied by these nerves. The sural nerve supplies here, and the deep fibular nerve supplies this portion, that's the lateral portion, and the superficial fibular nerve here, and the medial calcaneal branches near the calcaneal end. So these are the sensory innervations of the sciatic nerve. Now let's talk about the motor innervation of the sciatic nerve. See, the motor functions include the leg flexion at knee, the tibial and peroneal nerves, which are the two most important branches clinically of the sciatic nerve, and the hamstring muscle. It also supplies the hamstring muscles, that is the semitendinosus, semimembranosus, biceps femoris and the adductor magnus. So these hamstring muscles are innervated by the sciatic nerve itself before it divides into the tibial and common peroneal nerve. So these are the motor innervation or the motor functions done by the sciatic nerve. I'll say it again. It helps in the leg flexion at the knee, and it is supplying to the hamstring muscles. As you can see here in this diagram, it is supplying the hamstring muscles, the semitendinosus, semimembranosus, long head of biceps and adductor magnus. So that's all about the motor innervation of the sciatic nerve. So now let's talk about the relations of the sciatic nerve. As you can see here, the sciatic nerve, which comes below the piriformis through the greater sciatic foramen, it passes superficial to these muscles. That means these are the deep relations of the sciatic nerve. These muscles are gemellus superior, obturator internus, gemellus inferior, and the quadratus femoris. Also, it passes superior to the adductor magnus. And if you have to talk about relations, you have to also include the bone, which means under deep relations, you have to include the body of ischium and the capsule of hip joint. So talking about the deep relations, you have to say superior gemellus, obturator internus, inferior gemellus, quadratus femoris, the body of ischium, capsule of hip joint, and the adductor magnus. And let's talk about the superficial relations of the sciatic nerve. First one is the gluteus maximus. Obviously, because the gluteus maximus is the largest muscle, it should pass deep to the sciatic nerve. It covers here, and you are able to see that at the lower border of the gluteus maximus, the sciatic nerve reaches the thigh. There it passes deep to the biceps femoris muscle. So under superficial relations, you have to write the gluteus maximus and the biceps femoris. And now let's talk about an applied aspect of the sciatic nerve, that is the sciatica. So the sciatica is referred as the shooting pain along the cutaneous distribution of the sciatic nerve and its terminal branches, chiefly the common peroneal nerve. So sciatica is the shooting pain along the cutaneous distribution of the sciatic nerve and its terminal branches, chiefly the common peroneal nerve. So as you can say, the pain begins in the gluteal region and it radiates along the back of thigh and the lateral side of leg to the dorsum of the foot. And the cause may be the herniated disc, that is the disc prolapse, or neuritis. So this leads to the compression of one or more nerve roots, as you can see in this diagram. So due to a herniated disc or the neuritis, compression of one or more nerve roots take place, which result in the shooting pain along the cutaneous distribution of the sciatic nerve and its terminal branches, chiefly the common peroneal nerve. So that's all about the sciatica. And that concludes our discussion. We will be back in another video. Till then, bye.